everyone. Thanks so much for joining us on Angel Answers. We're really excited to be with you all today and look forward to sharing more pearls of wisdom, nuggets of information.
Yes.
With regard to living a successful life and having joy and peace throughout it.
Yeah.
So we wanted to speak about and expound upon another tagline, a tagline that do you want to share?
Oh yes, our tagline for our cakes is it's the perfect gift for any time, any reason, any season.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely true.
Yes.
They are the perfect gift anytime, any reason, any season. We thought that would actually be a really good topic to chat about today. Timing, reasons, and seasons in life. So when you think about timing and timing in life, what would you say is have you always felt as though everything's been right on time? Have you ever questioned? I mean, I feel like I've questioned, what would you say about that?
Absolutely. I oftentimes when I become anxious, I realize that it's always a perfect time for things to happen. And yes, I get impatient and you want things to happen right away. But oftentimes, if you've got a vision, you've got a purpose you're pursuing, there is a perfect time. You've got to meet the right people. You've got to be in the right place. And so this reminds me of a scripture in Habakkuk 2:2 that says, the vision is for an appointed time. And so when you are pursuing your passion, you've got to be patient because oftentimes God has set up the right time for you. And so you just keep at it day by day with the right attitude, as you said, with joy, and keep doing it as you hold that vision.
Interesting that you speak about patience throughout, when it doesn't seem like it's coming at the time that you want it to. Interestingly, when I see my mother, she always is very, very patient. And I always feel as though I'm the one that's not patient. And perhaps it's from a lifetime of, practicing.
And challenges.
But I'm definitely coming from a place in my life where you want things to happen right now. You're wondering why it hasn't happened yet. It's easy for then you to wonder if it's going to happen. And so timing has been something that I have to say I've really had to just sit with and understand the purpose of it. And not to feel limited and hemmed in by it, but recognize that it is an opportunity for me to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, that I have the right mindset to really be able to receive what it is that I think I want.
Yeah.
And many times, the circumstances or even the situations that you're in, really actually give you the indicators of whether or not you're on time or you're not on time, right? Because if it's not lining up, I think it's easy to be discouraged, but we have to be reminded that when you feel and you're called to do something, that you are intentional in operating from your purpose, then you just keep doing it.
Yeah, and complaining and whining also pushes back that timing, I believe. It frustrates you in the meantime, but it also can possibly delay the manifestation of that goal or vision that you have in mind. So you've got to kind of have to have a good attitude about it.
Right. The attitude part of it is really important.
Good attitude about it so that you can, get to that place that your heart desires.
And I, as just a tool again, have often reminded myself when I have the thoughts that come in. I mean, I just think that we all have these thoughts that come in and it's like, well, what do you do with them? I remind myself and I say, I don't have time for that. Like, I don't have time to be distracted thinking about something that's totally irrelevant. I don't have time to be lamenting about what hasn't happened yet. I don't have time for that, because the time that and energy I put into thinking about those things is time that I'm taking away from, encouraging myself, refining skills, thinking about creative ways to actually do what it is that I want to do and accomplish what I want to accomplish. So I think that, when we think of time, we should not feel, hemmed in by time.
Yes.
Right. But also recognize that it's precious. It is precious. And all you have is the moment that you're given. And so spending time thinking about the past, which you cannot change, or the future, which isn't here yet, I often say to myself, that's not a good use of my time. My time should be spent right here in the moment. Perhaps asking the question, what should I do next? What is the next right thing to do? And so that actually leads into reason, the reason that things happen, the reasons that you say, why did this have to happen? Why is this happening? How do you handle, your thoughts around the reason and trying to make reason?
Well, what I realize, living as long as I've done, is that you sometimes don't know the reason until time has passed. And so then you look back and you say, ooh, this is why that happened. This is why I was in that place or made that connection at that time. So, a lot of times you may not see the reason, and it may be uncomfortable. You may be in an uncomfortable place, but then it is working perfect timing within you to see the manifestation of your goals. So
I have an actual example. Many years ago, I had my own law practice, and I practiced real estate and trust and estates. And I remember forcing myself to go to a networking event, literally forcing myself and my husband now my boyfriend at the time, to come along with me. There were like 1,000 people there. It was like a realtor Christmas party, and mortgage brokers were going to be there, et cetera. And I forced myself to talk to this gentleman. And I'll try and make this long story short. Through him and speaking with him, I ended up meeting a woman who introduced me to legal recruiting. And it really changed the trajectory of my life. It brought me closer to my purpose, and it exposed me to, essentially a lifestyle and a career that I hadn't ever thought of. And I always knew that it came back to me making the choice to do something that I didn't necessarily feel like doing and that I felt a little uncomfortable doing. And so I didn't know at the time that the reason that I did that was to lead me to literally the next stage in my career and to bring me closer to what I was supposed to do. And so I think it's important for us to recognize that, just as my mom said, and I'm glad that you brought that up, you don't necessarily know at the time the reason for something. It reveals itself over time.
Yep.
And being open to that process and trusting that process, I think, is really important. And it goes back to the mindset of knowing that God has put something special inside of you and that things are working together for your good. I think the scriptures, all things work together for good for those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. Oh, there's that word purpose.
Purpose, yeah.